This morning, Governor Moino administers oath of allegiance on 2 council chairmen. Tertiary Education Trust Fund suspends foreign scholarship. The Apostolic Church honors Vice Chancellor, University of Uyo. Plus, fuel hike, College of Education staff now to report to work twice weekly. Details shortly. Good morning and welcome to the news. I am Eyageno Paul. Governor Moino has administered the oath of allegiance and oath of office on 4 officers to enable the smooth running of the local government administration, with a charge on them to reside within their respective local government areas. There are the 2 local government chairmen and their vice. A Government House reporter Patience John reports.
The 2 local government chairmen are Deaconess Otobong Sunday Aaron, Nsedibum Local Government Council, and Mr. Yosoro Okono Yosoro, Refong Local Government Council. They were formerly vice chairmen in their various councils, who have now assumed the position of chairman due to the higher political responsibility assumed by the former chairman. Mrs. Aritsande Ambert was also sworn in as a vice chairman of Urefong local government, while Mr. Mbosowo Charles David was sworn in as vice chairman in Sedibum Local Government Council.
I do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as in the Akwa Ibom State Government, I will discharge my duties to the best of my ability.
Congratulating the officers, Governor Moino called on them to work hard to deepen growth and development in their local government areas and to partner stakeholders to ensure adequate security in their domains.
Let me, on behalf of the government and people of Akwa Ibom State, congratulate you all for the new responsibilities you have now assumed as the chairman and vice chairman of your respective local government councils. This administration, in line with the core values and vision as encapsulated in our RISE agenda, is determined to transform and deepen growth and development in our rural areas as a strategic way of curbing rural-urban migration. As heads of your respective councils, you are expected to lead in a determined effort to bring development to our rural areas. I expect that as local government chairman, you should begin to lead in your local government areas. Because you are the chief security officers in your local government, we expect you to continue to work with your stakeholders, the youth, the women, elders, to ensure that the peace we have enjoyed in this state is maintained.
The governor spoke of the need for local government chairmen to live in their respective areas and used the occasion to invite stakeholders to the Akwa Ibom dialogue built to take place in the state next week.
And I'll soon present a bill to the House of Assembly to enact and enforce this, and they'll give me a bill to ensure that people who must lead our local government must live in their respective local government. That's the bill I'm going to present. We are going towards a point where local government chairmen and those who wish to be in that office will not live in Uyo. Chairmen will not have to live in their local government areas. That's where we are driving to. Let me use this opportunity also to invite all of you to the Akwa Ibom Dialogue, an event where we present our governance blueprint, the RISE agenda, and have experts and our people make their contributions in its implementation.
Patience John AKBC News.
The House of Representatives has rejected a motion to stop the increase in the price of premium motor spirit and revert to the old price of 537 naira per litre. Rather, the House resolved to investigate the sudden increase in the price of premium motor spirit and the resultant increase in transport fares across the country. The House said since it has already resolved to investigate the increase, it will amount to preempting the work of the investigative committee by ordering the suspension of the price increase. In a motion of urgent public importance by Ikenga Ugochinyere, the House asked the Group Managing Director of the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Mele Kyari, and oil marketers to appear before an ad hoc committee to explain the increase. The federal government will implement a review of workers' salary upwards to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal. President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, stated this when the Ekiti State Governor Abiodun Oyebanji and members of parliament from the state visited him in his office at the National Assembly. The Senate President assured Nigerians that the federal government was aware of difficulties being faced as a result of fuel subsidy removal. According to him, fuel subsidy removal was part of tackling corruption by the present administration, as the fuel subsidy regime stinks to high heavens of corruption. Senator Akpabio said Nigeria as a country could not have survived the next few years if the fuel subsidy had not been removed, adding that government will have capacity to pay salaries and wages if reviewed upwards. Ekiti State Governor Oyebanji commended the President of the Senate for his achievement in office. In the last 1 month, the governor assured of the support of the people and government to the success of his tenure as the President of the 10th Senate and their readiness to partner with the legislature to move the country forward. Lecturers under the aegis of the Colleges of Education Academic Staff Union on Wednesday announced that its members would only go to their respective campuses twice weekly till government addresses the issues caused by the removal of fuels subsidy, which according to the union has caused untold hardship to the members. The union, in a press statement issued by its national president, Dr. Sam Olubeko, stated that the members could no longer survive on the current minimum wage. The statement says the national leadership of the union took the decision in its extraordinary meeting held on Tuesday, 18th July 2023. The union said the directive will remain until the federal government yields to the demand of 200% increase in salary. The union notes that the implementation of the removal of fuel subsidy by the federal government 2 months ago, which raised the price of a litre of petrol by 250%, has worsened the inflationary rate of the cost of transportation, food, and other essential commodities, and impoverished the Nigerian people. How will I be remembered when I leave the position I am currently occupying? That was a pauser thrown at worshippers by the Uyo Field Superintendent of the Apostolic Church Nigeria, Apostle May George. The setting was the Apostolic Church Obio 4th District headquarters during a grand reception by the church for the Vice Chancellor of the University of Uyo, Professor Nyauron Dayo. Edema Sangayi filed the report here presented.
Apostle Josh, himself a professor in the University of Uyo, described the Vice-Chancellor as the prayer band leader in the district, an epitome of humility, a man of good report, one who believes in service and has led many to Christ. He described the reception as deserving, mentioning that Professor Ndayo, during whose tenure backlog of promotion to the professorial rank has been cleared, is an ambassador of the Apostolic Church Nigeria. Apostle Josh called on politically exposed persons and those occupying high offices to examine their mental and emotional processes and how they wish to be remembered after office guide their action.
To Jesus, narrated everything about this centurion. And when our Lord Jesus came, he was moved because the elders really told Jesus, this man is worthy for you to do this thing for. This man deserves. And they went on to give reasons. This man loved our city. This man built a synagogue for us.
Goodwill messages were presented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor Noede Mosoro, Chairman, Committee of Deans, Professor Isaac Ayandele, a former Vice Chancellor of the University of Uyo, Professor Enefe Osien, Professor J.J. Okon of the Adventist University, Washington, D.C., the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, National Association of Technologists, Non-Academic Staff Union, Senior Staff Club, Student Union Government, Students, Forum of Women Professors, and the Ndayos family. They describe his tenure as forward-looking, unprecedented, resounding, and outstanding success. The service featured presentation of gifts to the Vice Chancellor by the Church, while the Ndayo family, professional associations, and friends of the VC presented gifts to the VC and made donations to the church. Responding, Professor Ndayo, flanked by his wife Udwak, said he is humbled by the reception and reiterated his commitment to the Christian faith and the doctrines of the Apostolic Church, Nigeria.
The owner of the universe, who created us, who are programmed today in his calendar, that we will celebrate the way we are being celebrated today. So, on behalf of myself, my wife, and children, return all honor, all glory, and all adoration to him and him alone in the name of Jesus Christ.
You're still watching AKBC 45 News at dawn, and still to come, President Tinubu orders review of 8,000 Naira conditional cash transfer program. This and other reports. Please stay with us.
I just want your papers, please.
Sir.
Salary don't enter. Yes, so and Monte never even reach chef. Na salary plenty, oh. No wonder I no gree collect roja from my hand. Shut up, there. I'm here to bail my younger brother.
If it happen.
With good luck,
Proper funding, training,
and cooperation.
if it happen.
Welcome back to the news. President Bola Tinubu has directed the immediate review of the 8,000 Naira conditional cash transfer program aimed at providing succor to most vulnerable households. The president has also directed the unveiling of the Hail Palliative Package meant to cushion the effects of the fuel subsidy removal. Similarly, he has ordered for immediate release of fertilizers and grains to about 50 million farmers and households across the country. In a statement, the president issued what Nigerians the 500 billion naira approved by the National Assembly to ease the pain occasioned by the end of subsidy regime will be judiciously utilized. The federal government's planned distribution of 500 billion naira palliatives to Nigerians to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal has been condemned by the Nigeria Labour Congress. In a statement, NLC President Joe Ajero described the move by the federal government as another ploy to further impoverish the masses. According to Ajero, the government's proposal to pay 8,000 naira to 12 million poorest Nigerian families for 6 months is an insult to the collective intelligence of Nigerians and a mockery of their patience. President Bola Tinubu had July 12 written to the House of Representatives seeking amendment to the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Act to allow the federal government source 500 billion naira for palliatives to cushion the effect of subsidy removal. The Tertiary Education Trust Fund says it will suspend foreign scholarship for Nigerian students because of the current exchange rate crisis. The Executive Secretary of the fund, Sonny H. No, said this on Tuesday when he appeared before the House of Representatives ad hoc committee investigating the alleged mismanagement of 2.3 trillion naira tertiary education tax by TET Fund. He also revealed that over 137 students sponsored abroad by the fund absconded. Speaking on the plan to suspend foreign scholarships due to the exchange rate crisis, Mr. Cheno said that some of the taxes are paid to TET Fund in foreign currencies at the account domiciled with the Central Bank of Nigeria. But when fees are to be paid for scholars abroad, the Apex Bank insists on TET Fund sourcing forex by itself. Governor Muhammad Umar Bago of Niger State says 100 appointments will be given to women by his administration this week. The governor stated this when he received the executive members of International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, led by its chairperson, Mrs. Bola Jibogun in Mina. According to the governor in a statement by his chief press secretary, Bologui, the appointment would be in fulfillment of his promise to accommodate women in the implementation of policies to programs to succeed. Bago said out of the 100 appointment, FIDA will have a coordinator and 2 senior special assistants. Heightened protests caused by high cost of living in Kenya have forced the government to deploy heavy security to key towns. Report says police in Nairobi fired tear gas at the protesters, who hurriedly stoned at them at the 3-day demonstrations began on Wednesday. Many shops in and around Nairobi have remained shut as people stayed away from the city's central business district. Schools in the capital and coastal city of Mombasa have also remained closed, following a government order in anticipation that the protests might become violent. Kenya opposition called for the protest following tax hikes passed last month by the government of President William Ruto. The AKBC family last week converged on Akbaobe Close, Akwa Fort in Uyo Metropolis, to witness the funeral of one of their own, the Deaconess Justina Okon Mbaba. The funeral was conducted by the Mount Zion Lighthouse Full Gospel Church, Peter Ubo Assembly Uyo.
The event featured congregational hymns, choruses, and a fundraising for the bereaved family. In a sermon, the officiating minister, Apostle Anyekan Maswalakpan, who preached on the theme, "Live right, your day of death shall come," said the good and evil deeds of people will get commensurate rewards after death. Apostle Lakpan extolled the virtues of the late Deaconess Justina and prayed God to comfort the bereaved family.
Nothing will stop you to die. No power, no demon, no spirit. Even though we are getting that, who sent power and I'm known as a Baba, who sent
Praise the Lord.
Tributes and condolence messages presented by the family, the church, women fellowship, her husband, Elder Uwem Essien, the management of AKBC, mentioned the hard work, the drive to excel, and the good neighborliness of the deceased.
It came as a shock to us all when we heard about her demise. She was a diligent and very hard-working member of staff. She played her role efficiently and has taken a bow out of this world.
A biography read by one of her granddaughters, Success Peter Oba, indicated that the late Deaconess Justina Okonbawa was an indigent of AKBC village in Sidetai local government area. She began her public service career with AKBC in 1990. According to the biography, she later obtained a national and higher national diplomas in business administration. The late Deaconess Justina Okonbaba is survived by her husband, Elder Wemesian, a retired staff of the AKBC, her daughter Esther Okpan Emmanuel, and 6 grandchildren. Her remains were conveyed to Ikorabia for burial, in line with Nsiratai tradition.
May God rest the soul of Justina. That's all we have for you this morning, but before we get another look at the top stories. Governor Moino has administered the oath of allegiance and oath of office to 4 officers to enable smooth running of the local government administration, with a charge on them to reside within their respective local government areas. They are the 2 local government chairmen and their vice. We also brought a report that lecturers under the edges of the Colleges of Education Academic Staff Union on Wednesday announced that its members would only go to their respective campuses twice weekly till the government addresses the issue caused by the removal of subsidy, which according to the union has caused untold hardship to its members. The union, in a press statement issued by the national president, Dr. Sam Olugwebo, noted that its members could no longer survive on the current minimum wage. That's the package. Many thanks for watching and have a beautiful day.